We're heading to the iconic Parisian neighborhood of Montmartre, where influential figures of Impressionism and Post-Impressionism such as Monet, Van Gogh, and Renoir once lived. My plan for the day is to visit the famous streets and spots in Montmartre that artists in the 1800s and 1900s used to frequent. I've never visited Montmartre with this artistic intention or mission before, so I feel extra excited. The art history of the world is definitely so rich. There are quite a few periods that influenced me personally, and one of the periods that influenced my art the most would include Impressionist and Post-Impressionist period. I think one of the reasons why I'm so drawn to that is that it kind of represents a break free from traditional academic constraints that allowed artists to become more personal in their explorations, and I can connect to that a lot. Montmartre is a key place in the history of Impressionism because this is where the artists from that era gathered. They started to gather here because when Paris was starting to become more and more modern, it became more expensive and more boring to live there as well. And for artists, having constant inspirations is quite important. So they started to come here to gather in Montmartre because the area was well known for its nightlife, social life, like cabaret, dance halls, circus. Of course, one artist led to more artists. Montmartre started to really become a hub and a source of inspiration for many Impressionist artists. Montmartre is definitely giving off a different creative energy than the other neighborhoods of Paris. The streets and the building are less imposing, everything feels more laid back, though it's safe to assume that Montmartre has changed a lot since back in 1800s. But it's still quite fun to try to imagine how Monet or Renoir or Picasso used to roam all these streets here. The windmill that you see here is an iconic one. It's called Le Moulin de la Galette. If that reminds you of the painting called Bal du Moulin de la Galette from Auguste Renoir, well, this is the very place that inspired him to paint one of his most iconic paintings. There is a restaurant here now and the windmill is under renovation, but it was nice to imagine the ball happening around here. I really wanted to come to this next historic landmark, but first in front of this super cute cafe established in early 1800s, there's this little souvenir shop selling famous Art Nouveau and Impressionist souvenirs. It's not a museum, but seeing these illustrations from back then while visiting makes the experience somewhat more real. Now it's time to take a moment to appreciate this iconic cafe that was central in the art scene of the 18 and 1900s. Besides being absolutely cute, Le Consulat was the cafe where all the famous artists used to meet up and socialize. We're talking Monet, Van Gogh, Picasso, Toulouse-Lautrec, they all came here. I'm sitting here trying to feel impressionist. Right next to Le Consulat, there's this Art Nouveau style restaurant called La Bonne Franquette. This place used to be called Au Billard en Bois, which was also represented in one of Van Gogh's paintings. It definitely has changed a lot from Van Gogh's time, so imagination is key here. La Place du Tertre is a famous outdoor art market in Montmartre. It also used to be famous back then, if I'm not mistaken. Artists set up their easels here or along the other streets of the area to paint and sell directly to the visitors. You can buy paintings from them or get your portrait painted if you want. The square is definitely busy, but I enjoyed navigating the crowd to get a sense of what it's like to sell art in person. When you come to Montmartre, you cannot miss La Maison Rose, or literally the pink house, because even though you wanted to miss it, you just can't miss it. It's so pink. This is another iconic cafe where artists used to meet up. This pink restaurant mainly became famous through the paintings by Maurice Utrio, another important artist of that time. I was very intrigued by the story of this former cabaret, Le Lapin Agile, which means the agile rabbit. This cabaret was founded in 1860 and has a somewhat turbulent past, unlike what the cute color of the house would suggest. It was previously known as Au Rendez-vous des Voleurs, which means where thieves meet, then Le Cabaret des Assassins, which means the cabaret of the murderers. It eventually became Le Lapin Agile due to a sign painted by caricaturist André Gilles. Picasso also once was a regular at this cabaret. There's a famous and quite gloomy painting of this cabaret painted by Picasso himself after a quarrel between two of his friends at the cabaret that ended in a tragedy, followed by an intriguing affair between him and his friend's wife. A 25-year-old Picasso was asked to produce this now world-famous painting for the cabaret in exchange for food and drinks. I have come to Montmartre before, but I have never really tried to visit and experience the area from an impressionist angle. So that was an interesting experience, definitely, because when you come here as a tourist, it can feel overwhelming because it's a very popular area. As you could see, there were a lot of people, a lot of beautiful things to see for sure. But when you try to go there and try to imagine what it could have been like back then, even though it's definitely different here from 19th century, I could definitely imagine being so inspired by all the social life, the nightlife, the cabaret. Now I'm going to head to Musée d'Orsay, which has the biggest Impressionist collection in the world. Unfortunately, the queue is impossibly long and I have to take the train back to Normandie, so I'm going to try to go to the Musée de Normandie instead. They also have a good collection of Impressionist pieces. I'm not sure if I'm going to get in though because there are so many people right now in Paris. This is a total fail. If you can see, there's a huge line that wait to enter the Musée de Normandie. The wait is about 1 hour and a half. This video is becoming a little pointless now. I'm going to try to find something to do while I wait for my train back to Normandie. So I found something. Fortunately, there's one of the oldest art stores in Paris that is not too far from Musée d'Orsay, and hopefully I won't have to wait to get in. Fortunately for myself, I went to the Musée d'Orsay before filming to prepare for this video. Even though I won't get to show you the collection directly from the museum, here are the pictures of some of my favorite pieces. This is a 2 meters high canvas from Monet. It's really impressive in real life. What I find really incredible is how he played with those white dresses and made them so mesmerizing. I was totally charmed by the colors used on this dress. La robe rose means the pink dress. And if you know my paintings, I love beautiful dresses. I stood there to admire this painting for so long. Berthe was one of the rare female artists in the Impressionist collection. I absolutely love her brush strokes here. The composition, the colors felt so delicate and so fresh. While this painting is not technically my style, the painting was so different both in techniques and theme from the other paintings in the room, so it was hard to look away from it. If you have ever dreamed of having your own classic art atelier surrounded by wooden easels, floor-to-ceiling drawers, and hundreds of brushes with the scent of varnish and pigments filling the air, Magasin Sennelier is your dream come true. Walking in is like you're transported to this old-school art academy, Les Beaux-Arts style. This is pure nostalgia, even though I have never lived in the 1800s.
Je crois que vous allez abandonner cette fiche. Je vais vous faire prison.
The second floor is low ceiling. This is where you'll find calligraphy or ink-related supplies. As a bonus, there's a huge window overlooking a bridge. This is Le Pont du Carrousel, and right next to it is the Musée du Louvre. Such an incredible view from an art store, right? In the room across the stairs is where you'll find paper. A lot of paper, huge rolls of paper. I admit I have never seen paper sold like this before. If you know how this actually works, please share what you know, because I don't know. I'm personally thinking grand scale painting or even wallpaper, but honestly, I'm probably wrong. If you have seen my previous videos, you know that I'm passionate about two specific gouache brands, the Japanese brand Holbein and the French brand Linel by Le Franc-Bourgeois. This was my first time finding Linel in a physical store, so I was really happy. Unfortunately, you can only choose your gouache from the catalog. You cannot see them directly from the drawers. I didn't ask to see any tube because I already have most of the colors, so no Linel for today, but that's only an excuse to come back for a future video. I hope you enjoyed this little immersion in Impressionism in Paris, even though it was a bit of a fail. Please share your favorite art period in the comments. I would love to create more videos like this in the future. It would also be so cool if you could like this video and subscribe for more content from the channel. Thank you very much for watching. See you very soon. Bye bye.